This is the Joy News Desk, and you're welcome. We'll start off from the northern region, where we understand that NEDCO has started power ration. I've been joined over the telephone by Alhaji Siam, who speaks for the Northern Electricity Distribution Company. But I think I've just been prompted that we lost Alhaji over the telephone, and we'll put in efforts to raise him again on the telephone. But if you're in the northern region, share your experience of the load shedding with us. If you've already started experiencing it, so let us know what it feels like in the northern region. You can do so by sharing your thoughts with us on social media platforms, which I'll announce in a bit. But Alhaji is back over the telephone. Alhaji.
Hello.
Why has it become necessary that NEDCO sheds some power, or some load, rather?
We have been shedding load. We have been shedding load. We shed about roughly about 30 megawatts every 12 hours, or every day. Let me put it that way.
Now, why has it become necessary for? Again, I'm going to ask you the same question, because then the perception is that in the northern region, or combining the three northern regions, there's really not much load to shed.
No, actually, you see, if you talk about the three northern regions, it's a bit of a mistake. What is happening is we have the Northern Electricity Distribution Company. Our starting point, or where we distribute power to the northern part of the country, including the northern part of Ashanti region, part of the western region, the northern part of Volta region, the whole of Brong-Ahafo region, the whole of northern, upper east, and upper west regions. So it's not only in the three northern regions that we distribute power.
I see. So let's talk about how much you are able to get in terms of supply, and what is in terms of demand.
Yeah, what's happening is that normally here the consumption is very low. So we have the peak demand, peak period demand is about 150 megawatts, and off peak is about 100 megawatts. So something which may be one of the cities, maybe a suburb of one of the cities will be using. So when we shed 30%, we wouldn't shed much. If we are taking 700 megawatts and we are supposed to shed 30%, that will be about 30 megawatts. Whereas maybe ECG, if they are distributing about 600 megawatts, that means they will shedding as much as we are shedding. So the effect will be pronounced, unlike what happens here.
I see. Now, what is the shedding for NEDCO like?
Yeah, what's happening is, for example, I can give you today's schedule. Today is it the 4th or the 5th? Today is the 4th.
Yes, today is the 4th of February.
4th of February. If you take Upper East area, we are shedding from if a lot of if you know Upper East, I'm talking of Bolga area. We are shedding Yekini, Sumuru, Polytechnic area, Zok. In fact, if you start Dema and its environs, Fumbusi. So if you know that area, it's a vast expanse of load between Bolga to the Paga road, and then you go to Sandema. If you come to the Sunyani area, the same for we are shedding beyond Kwanta Techiment as at now. That is between 6 a.m. 6 p.m. Beyond Kwanta Techiment, Dema, Teche, Jomo, Principal, Bechem, Pokukrom, New Brosanko, and so on. So that is for Sunyani area. If you know the area, you know what I'm talking about. If you come to
Alhaji, what I'm asking, I'm asking, we'll get into the areas, but what I'm asking is, how long do people who are served by NEDCO have to go off?
We go off from 12 for a 12-hour period, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. That's what we do. But then instead of covering a few areas, we cover wide expanse, because we shed a given load. And the load will be said that if it is the 30 megas I'm talking about, it will cover so many places over that short period. Unlike maybe I'm from the south, so I know what I'm talking about. Unlike the south, where maybe just a small area, if you have to, they may do that consumption. So they may have to go off quite often than us.
Right. So then averagely, NEDCO takes off electricity supply for about 6 hours a day.
No, 12 hours a day for a given location. That is from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. for a given location. And within the same region, or here we don't talk of regions, we talk of areas, because nothing region like this is served by 3 particular areas, from Bolga, part of the northern region, Bolga, part is from Tamalan, part is from Wa. So what happens is we talk of areas. So if it is, say, the northern area, which includes part of northern Volta, they will say that from Yendi up to Ketegrache, you'll be off from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Then we calculate the load and see if it is not enough to give us the 30%. Normally, we've given each area their quota. Then what we do is that we add another feeder, or we add another feeder district. We add them to make up that particular figure. We don't go off for 24 hours.
I see. I'm going to have you hold the line just for a bit to speak to our regional correspondent in that area. Albert Sori is joining us from the Upper East region. Albert.
Hello, Kevin.
What's the experience in the Upper East region with regards to power rationing?
Well, in the last few days, we've seen a few power outages, but it is not serious compared to what we hear for those who live down south in Kumasi and in Accra as well. For me, what I have seen is not intense as far as I am concerned. The power in my area has not gone off for almost a week now. The last time it went off, it came back in less than 30 minutes.
I see. How long have you been experiencing this?
Well, since the power rationing started across the country, we in the Upper East region have, we've not experienced, anything as far as load shedding is concerned. I haven't heard about any load shedding. Somewhere last year there was a timetable, but they did it for a while and then it stopped somewhere in November thereabouts. And since then, power has been stable as far as the Upper East region is concerned. But in the last 1 week, I have seen some parts of the capital go off at night for about 2 hours, and then the power returns. But I, in particular, I live close to the DRA plant where the substation is. So maybe that is why I am not experiencing.
Right. Let's find that. Let's find out from Alhaji Mohammed Siam, who speaks for NEDCO. He's over the telephone as well. Alhaji.
Hello, I can hear you.
Alhaji, so the rationing was not going on until just about a week ago?
Yeah, no. You see, what Albert is saying is happening. We don't shed load to the sensitive installation. The water pumping stations, we don't shed load to the place. We don't shed load to security zones. You know, we have a lot of conflict areas up north here. So we don't shed load to Dindila, we don't shed load to Gushe, we don't shed load to Genji. We don't shed load to Boko. And we don't shed load, as I said, to hospitals. And then the security, but the barracks.
No, but what Albert said was that
I'm coming to that.
Let's address that.
What is happening is that if you are living on the line, on the feeder to any of these installations, you are likely not to go off. Because if, for example, you take Tamale, Tamale supplies a feeder to Dalong, where we have our major water installations. We have quite a number of communities along that line. They do not go off because we don't have a dedicated line to Dalong. So if we are to put the water station off, we know the consequences. So no matter the situation, we don't put them off. The same thing, until recently, the hospital, we were not putting them off, but now they have a dedicated line. So if you are, for example, on the hospital line, you will never go off.
Okay, then again, I get that bit. I'm sure that is the same explanation the ECG in Accra has been giving us about essential service providers. But what is the demand on NEDCO?
As I said, if you talk about the total generation and compare it to peak, I said peak, that is the maximum we take is 150 megawatts. Compare it to over 2,000 megawatts generated. Then you know that it is just a drop in the ocean. And so, because we don't take much, if we have to shed the given percentage, mind you, we are told we will be told by system control to shed a given percentage. It's not a quantum, a given percentage. So if you have to shed 30%, that means we are shedding only 30 megawatts. And the 70 megawatts will be enough to supply quite a lot of places because the rural communities don't take much. So that is the what people do not understand. If you compare to South, where maybe 30% may go over, say, 200 megawatts, which is quite substantial.
But
you will see
Alhaji, I think you've already made that point.
Yeah.
What I wanted to know was the figure of demand and the figures of demand and supply. So in terms of demand, you're getting about 150, and in supply,
yeah,
what are you
maximum,
getting?
Maximum. Yeah.
And in supply, what are you getting?
That's that demand we get about in supply because of what we've been told to reduce consumption. The maximum may be about 120 megawatts for peak. So that means we have to shed about 30 megawatts to comply with the instructions.
Very well. Thank you very much, Alhaji Mohammed Siam speaks for NEDCO. Albert Sori joined us from the Upper East region. He's a Joy News correspondent. Now, when I come back, we'll talk about the reconstruction of the Kumasi Central Market. Now, the Central Market is become necessary for the reconstruction following the several fire cases recorded in that market. So, finally, this 90-year-old Central Market, the biggest in West Africa, would see some reconstruction sometime next month. We'll get into that detail when I come back. Don't go away.